For us Hyderabadi, Uzramma needs no introduction. She has been, for the past 2.5 decades, a loud voice raising concerns of the weavers and all the issues that the handloom weavers face. Annapurna, a postdoctoral fellow with Penelope Project, is currently pursuing a research on how craftsmen innovate their material practices. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Uzramma and Annapurna.
The connections of weaving with the spiritual life and specifically with the work of Kabir, who you perhaps know, apart from being a poet, was also a weaver. And it was shot partly in Kutch, mostly in Kutch, and a little bit in Chirala also, among people from the Kabir Manch, who sing as part of their everyday practice and also weave. So I hope you'll enjoy the film.
సైన్స్ అంటే నాలెడ్జ్ అంటే పుస్తకాల్లో ఉంటాయని అనుకుంటాం కదా, కానీ ఈ వీవింగ్ అన్న నాలెడ్జ్ వీవర్ బాడీలో ఉంటుంది. అట్లాంటి నాలెడ్జ్ని మనం ఎలాగ బయట పెట్టాలి, అతను ఎట్లా పెడతాడు? పుస్తకంలో రాయడానికి అది పనికిరాదు. పుస్తకంలో రాస్తే ఎవరు వీవింగ్ నేర్చుకోలేరు కదా. సో పుస్తకంలో కాకుండా మనలో ఉన్న నాలెడ్జ్ని వీవర్ ఎట్లా చెప్తున్నాడు అని నేర్చుకుని మనం కూడా నేర్చుకోవచ్చు అన్నమాట. సో అది. సో 30 minutes ఉంది సినిమా, ప్లీజ్ ఎంజాయ్ ఇట్.
स्कूल भी खोली थी सिखाने के लिए। कलेक्टर की बेबी, मामलतदार की बेबी, DSP की बेबी सब जाती थी ट्रेनिंग लेने के लिए, लेकिन नहीं आया। एक उद्योग की मीटिंग था, उसमें बोल दिया, बोला खुद से सिखाओ। मैं तू सिखाएगा सही, लेकिन जो सीखने वाला है उनको सिखाओ। जो सीख नहीं रहा है, जिसका बाप दादे देखा नहीं है, वो सीखेगा नहीं।
कबीर खड़ा बाजार में मांगे सबकी खैर, ना किसी से दोस्ती ना किसी से बैर। जान अरे चलो मांझी चलो पूछने जल में किदोवा, ये कय झमको ए लहरदियो, ए कय झमको ए लहरदियो, बेटी जायो बाप जी। ए अर्जी सुनो हमारी रे, मारो सर को बोले राम नाम बज तुई नज तुई तू। अरे पंजारा पंजारा हूँ रे बेटी, सुनो पिंजारा भाई। पिंजारा हूँ रे बेटी, सुनो पिंजारा भाई। पिंजारन गा गई सतगुरु की गल बताई अर्जी। सतगुरु गल बताई अर्जी। अर्जी सुनो हमारी रे, मारो चल को बोले राम नाम बज तुई तू। अरे तार को मुझो अजब रंगीलो पूरो लाल गुलाल। हाँ तार को मुझो अजब रंगीलो पूरो लाल गुलाल। अरे कातन वाली जेल जमीली, कातन वाली जेल जमीली, आका दे लटकाए अर्जी। बज तुई तू। अरे माता भी मर जो, पिता भी मर जो घर बरसा। हाँ माता भी मर जाए, पिता भी मर जाए घर बरसा। एक दिन मैं मोर सजन सुधारो, एक दिन मैं दो सजन सुधारो, करके जो गणनार अर्जी। करके जो गणनार अर्जी। अर्जी सुनो हमारी रे, मारो सर को बोले राम नाम बज तुई तू। रामानंद जो भणे कबीरा आचर गो के रामानंद जो भणे कबीरा आचर गो के अरे आचर खाने भेर वे, आचर खाने भेर वे, जन्म मरण मट जाए अर्जी। जन्म मरण मट जाए अर्जी। अर्जी को हमारी रे, मुझो चरको बोले राम नाम बज तुई तू।
देखो गीत राग है ना, कभी हमको सुबह उठ के वो गुनगुनाई आ जाती,
अंदर से
आ जाती। हाँ, वो गुनगुनाई कभी सुनी है आप, आ जाती। ऐसा बाजी में होना चाहिए, वो होता है।
ये भजन गा रहे हैं भगत लोग, ये श्रोता लोग जो है साथ में सब बैठ के सुन रहे हैं। घर में पानी का मटका भी पड़ा है,
पानी सब में एक।
पानी सब में एक।
కానీ ఇట్లాంటివి డిజైన్లు మీరు చేసినవి మీరు చేసినవి డిజైన్లు ఫరక్ ఉందా, తేడా ఉందా?
తేడా ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు అదే ఇదేంటంటే మిషన్ మీద వస్తుంది, ఈ వర్క్ చేసి మీద చేయలేదు.
మామూలు ఆడబెట్టి ఆడతోటి తీసుకొని బుట్ట తీస్తారండి, అది వేరే.
తేడా ఎట్లా తెలుస్తుంది?
తేడా అంటే
తేడా మామూలుగా ఉంటుంది, ఆ తేడా వచ్చేది మాకు అమ్మకి అర్థం అయిపోద్ది.
తేడా ఎట్లా అంటే ఇదైతే తొందరగా నేస్తుంటాం, అదైతే తొందరగా అవ్వదు కానీ
లేట్ అయింది,
లేట్ అవుతుంది.
ఇక్కడ తేడా అంటే మీరు గ్రహించాల్సింది, దీంట్లో వచ్చేసి మీరు ఒక బొమ్మ ఒక డిజైన్ చేస్తారు, అందులో డిజైన్ తీయగలుగుతారు,
చాలా తీయచ్చు,
చాలా తీయచ్చు, అదే తేడా.
దీనిలో కూడా డిజైన్ తీయచ్చు, అట్లు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు డిజైన్.
దానికి ఎంత ఖర్చు అవుతుంది, దానికి ఎంత ఖర్చు అవుతుంది, దానికి ఎంత ఖర్చు
మొత్తం అంతా అసలు మిషన్ అనేది తెలియదు
అన్నా. నువ్వు మాస్టర్ గారు మారుస్తాడు, నీ కూలీ ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేసినాడు 200 తగ్గించాడు, అది కూడా మాస్టర్ గారే చేస్తాడు. నువ్వు బరాయిస్తున్నావా? ఎవరైనా అది నువ్వు తెలుసుకోవాలి, నువ్వు ఏదో మాట్లాడితే సరిగా.
ये तो अभी तो हम देखिए गा रहे हैं, अभी इसमें हम इतने वो नहीं हो गए कि इसके हम इसके ऊपर हम कुछ कह सकें, क्योंकि ये सब लोग इतने वो हैं कि इसको हम नहीं बता सकते कि क्या है। बहुत मुश्किल है ऐसी चीज़ें जो संत कह के गए ना, वो उस जगह पे खड़े होके उन्होंने जो अनुभव किया उन्होंने बताया, वो हम उसका अनुभव हम कैसे बताएं? हम बात करेंगे लेकिन वो बात नहीं कर पाएंगे। हम एक भजन के जो अर्थ हैं, मैं अर्थ करता हूँ, दूसरे भाई अर्थ करते हैं, तीसरे भाई अर्थ करते हैं, लेकिन वो अर्थ जो है वो अर्थ नहीं है जो उन्होंने अनुभव करके बताया। तो मैं उसका अनुभव क्या कैसे बताऊँ कि ये उन्होंने उनका अनुभव क्या होगा।
अभी क्या पूछना है? अभी हम अंदर में ही पूछ रहे हैं कि हम सुन रहे हैं कि नहीं।
यहाँ पर आज हम हमारा पूछना भी क्या है।
कबीर साहब ने बताया, ऐसी ऐसी बात बताई मेरे सतगुरु, मुख से कही नहीं जाई साधु। क्या
जी,
मेरे गुरु ने ऐसी बात बताई कबीर साहब के, मैं मुख से कह नहीं सकता। क्या बताया होगा क्या बताया? तो बोला हमारा गुरु जी ने हमको उस देश में ले गया
जी।
तो आप जैसा कोई पूछता है कौन सा देश, तो कबीर साहब बोला हम देखा ना, वो देश की मैं बात करता हूँ कि मेरा गुरु ने वहाँ मेरे को ले गया। क्या उस हमारे देश में धरण नहीं करना, माँ धरती में नहीं आकाश में, तो क्या होगा? हमारे देश में धरण नहीं करना, नहीं क्या पवन पानी साधु ऐसी बात बताइए सबको। हमारे देश में चंदा नहीं सूरज नहीं, वहाँ नव लख तारा सा। क्या बहुत दूर है।
Were you able to read the subtitles on that film? So it was filmed in Kutch and a little bit in Chirala in Andhra Pradesh. And I hope you enjoyed it and understood the connection between Kabir and the work of weaving.
Yeah, we don't have so much to say. We would like to have questions and have a conversation, I think. That would be much nicer.
You want to start the Q&A straight away? All right, that's fine.
Yeah, so I am a professor, teacher. I teach fashion students, and recently went on a study tour to Kutch 2 weeks ago, and it was pretty difficult to get the young students to, you know, sit and engage them with the weavers, and it was mostly like they were taking lots and lots of videos and photos. Do you have anything to say about this young generation in terms of weaving? Anything that you would like to say that could help me actually get them to, how would you say, engage them much more in the classrooms and all? Because you have been in the field for so many years. I'm not from textile background, so that's why I'm asking.
So we are actually having just now, along with the film, having a workshop, a tablet weaving workshop. We've got a bunch of young kids who are actually learning how to weave. So I think that it's not a problem of the generation. I think it's a problem of thinking that what we see is the knowledge. That's why you think if you video it, you're capturing the knowledge. And that's what the film is about. That what's happening inside the mind of the weaver is actually the knowledge, and the film doesn't actually capture it. So how do we get younger people engaged with what is happening inside the body and mind of the weaver, and not what he speaks or what he does? What he does is just moves the shuttle up and down. What is there to see in that? And then you take a video and you think you've captured the knowledge. And actually what's happening is something in his head. So I think if we make that shift, it will be easier for us to engage young people.
Showed it as a reflective internal process, which many times we don't give it credit for. And I really like, Annapurna, what you said about the videoing doesn't teach you what you do. So, for example, when we learn dance, right, a lot of times Didi reads out tukras and todas and we're writing those down, right? So she insists that we write them out ourselves in our own hand. And then you do it on the tal, and then it comes on some, and then you understand it. Because if your friend is writing it and you're taking a photograph and copying it out on your notebook later, it doesn't work. It's got to be internalized, and I really loved how this video brought that out. And I also loved how Ankarji said, "Man kya karta hai?" ये हाथ पैर तो घूम रहा है, लेकिन मन क्या करता है? वो मन भी वहीं पे है, मतलब वरना वो काम नहीं होता है. So thank you for showing us this perspective, and I really enjoyed it.
Good morning to all. I am Rajasekhar, worked in Steel Authority. About the mind and body, I think each and every problem of us is addressed by Jiddu Krishnamurti, a world philosopher. He always tells, including Ramana Maharshi, know thyself. What is happening in your mind? What are the thoughts in our mind? Be aware, passive awareness. Don't criticize. This is good, that is bad, because we are all conditioned. If in India or if I am born in an Orthodox family, I think this is right, that is wrong. Somebody born in Western side, he thinks that is right, that is wrong. Maybe differently. But don't label it. Have passive awareness. Know about it. That is meditation. And you will understand yourself. Everything comes through your perception, your
Mr.
listening.
Rajshekar, do you have a question related to the topic?
The topic is, she said, inside. That's
No, but do you have a question? Others will pass the mic on to someone.
I have no questions.
Thank you.
Film, and especially, how do you look at Uzramma? This, the weavers are working, they're also singing, and their household chores are also being shown. So, do you think that there is a juxtaposition of their entire life with the art and the way that they live? And the film also tries to capture some part of the tacit knowledge, but it hasn't. So that tacit knowledge is equally important. So he says in one of the conversations that, it has to pass from generations to generation. It doesn't just come like if you go to a training institution. It's not just merely training. So my whole idea about, looking at this film is from the perspective of how art has melted into the, the way of living, basically.
Yeah, that's very true. And the reason everything is also linked to mathematics, how they work out very carefully how the pattern emerges from the number of stitches. And the number of stitches depends on the number of threads. And one of the interesting parts was how the weaver from Laos, that master craftsman from Laos, was able to communicate with the person who makes very ordinary cloth from Chirala, and how they were able to, the master weaver was so ready to share his knowledge, and this person was ready to sit there and learn. We were at this event that happened in 2018 in Chirala, and it was wonderful to see this man. And we had just, the man from Laos, and we had just set up the bare bones of the loom, and then he put his warp and weft on it, and he demonstrated his skill. Not just demonstrated, but showed how that work is done. And that's the thing about the communication of a weaving skill. It doesn't need language. It is, they have, or a weaver from a distant country and a weaver from Chirala have a shared language, and that is weaving.
I just want to say something about this tacit knowledge thing. I think within science we have the categories of explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge, and the word which is explicit is very important, and the bodies and the objects are less important. But that fragmentation doesn't exist for something like handloom weaving. So for example, when she is making the roti, if you make the roti dough into a ball, then naturally it will turn into a circle. So there is something about the geometry of the material and its ordering that she is responding to. She may not say it in words that this is a round piece of dough, why will I make it into a square roti? But she says this feels right. I don't think that is tacit knowledge. I think it's just knowledge that doesn't need words.
No, I was actually just wondering about exactly this, because there is so much intangible knowledge and so much heritage that then will go if it isn't somehow captured. I don't know what form, what format, how we are able to preserve it, but any art will have that, and weaving in particular. So just what are your ideas on how you think we can, somehow preserve this?
A lot of people now are worried about how do we preserve it. But handloom knowledge is a living thing. It's not going to by putting it in a museum, you actually kill the thing. Yeah, but yeah, so young weavers may not take up weaving, but there are many young people who are non-weavers who are taking it up. It doesn't have, you see, we also tend to get set in our ways that, you know, the younger generation of weavers must take up that thing. But it's not true. You see, wherever weaving is thriving, the young people there are happy to take it up.
I just want to say that the way of capturing it is the problem. As long as people are weaving, it will live. So this idea that you can take videos and capture it and preserve that knowledge, or put it in a museum and preserve. So actually what we would like to do is, you know, if everybody learned a little bit about weaving, like you know a little bit about cooking.
And also that you wore handloom clothes. That is the best way of keeping it going, is that more people are wearing handloom clothes. And now more and more people are discovering that it's so comfortable and they actually want to wear it. It's not an ideology or something.
Thank you.